is low and the grass is long. Color on that roof is wrong. Dark beside the shed is gone. It still feels like home.
Hi, I'm Nelly from Woodvale, Victoria, Australia, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to talk to you about half square triangles. Half square triangles are a technique that you really need to master, and you need to get them correct each time you do them. Otherwise, your blocks are not going to be perfect and you're going to really struggle to get them everything aligned. Mostly today I'm talking to the B group girls from QBSA, but everybody needs to do this. And in our beginner group we have at least, I've grabbed some patterns. We've got 6 patterns here of our 12, and each one of them require half square triangles. It's a technique that means that it's a square and half of the square is a triangle, so they're called half square triangles. Now there's a lot of variables that go into this one, and first of all is the fabric. I've noticed with the fabric that we're getting from Japan and the one from United Kingdom, when you go to iron them, there's a lot of shrinkage is happening in the fabric. So while you've got the shrinkage that's happening in the fabric, if you were to cut them at these graphs that I'm about to show you next, you're not going to be able to have enough fabric, and you're going to be short, or you're going to be actually pulling the fabric to try and get it to go across to make your squares back so that they are correct in size. There's some charts that are around at the moment, and I'm really not happy with these. I don't really understand why we're using them. They're asking you to so-called cut at 178, 378, 578 and different 7/8. Oh, I find that quite difficult to understand, because if I just turn this around and put my ruler back under here for a start for you, so we can have a look here. If I put that back under there, to get 3/8, well, there's 3/8 there, we don't actually have a full marking on our ruler. So to line that up and to get that straight is going to be actually quite difficult to see. But if we were to take it to the next whole one, which is what today's takeaway is all about, it's called +1. So if we were to take it to the next whole one, it would always be on one of these lines, so that we can clearly see how we're going to be able to cut our fabric. So I don't ever think that we should ever cut at 7/8, because there's 7/8 there on the ruler, and you can't actually see the markings, and that is quite difficult to actually line up and to get it perfect. Even for an advanced person, I would find that quite hard to do. I know it's a lot easier now because I've got the white paper onto the green, but if you had some of the green fabrics onto the green, or if you had a dark fabric onto the green, or at night time trying to cut onto the green, you're not actually going to be able to see it at all. So I think that that is an element that is going to actually cause you a lot of dramas. So I won't use those charts. I don't even look at those charts. So we're going to go back to one of these patterns here from the B group girls. Always read your pattern. Look through your pattern. So this one here is one of our patterns that we use. We sew in our beginners group, and it's called Cactus Pot. A lot of the girls turn that into sort of like a black pot or a terracotta pot, and then they make the plant part like flowers in a garden, and then put them on point. On point means that they're like a diamond shape, on point. So if we go through the pattern, always go through your patterns, and somewhere along the line it will tell you exactly how big these need to be. And it says here, these half square triangles, so that's a half square, so it's a triangle, that's what it means. And from there, you can see it written down. Anyway, they should each measure 3.5 inches. Okay, so there it is on the pattern. Step 2 says they should each measure 3.5 inches. So what we're going to do is every time you see a half square triangle, you are just going to +1. So it says it's 3.5, so you're going to cut your squares at 4.5. I've already cut one for us, so I'm just going to cut another one here. So this is from how I buy my fabric. I buy my fabric in bits and pieces from all over as I need it. I just go and get a metre at a time, or what have you, like that. So I'm just going to cut up this here. There we go, cut there. So this rule is 4.5. So we just need to make it 4.5. I've got the requirements that we need today to make these half square triangles. School ruler, pencil, scissors to cut our threads, pins, cutting mat, long ruler, and of course our rotary cutter. So line it up again, make sure it's right, using the palm of your hand to hold it still. And cut again. Okay, so there we go. We have our 2 bits for our half square triangle. So one is a darker colour and one is a lighter colour. This is purely only for your information so that you can actually see what I'm doing. Now we're going to take our school ruler and our lead pencil and we're going to draw a line from one corner to the other corner across one of the fabrics. Just draw a pencil line right down the corner like that. That's going to be our marker line, our sewing line. We're going to take our pins and we're going to pin them together, lining them up corner to corner. Put a pin in it just to hold it together, corner to corner again. Line her up, get it done, put a pin in it. Now using this as a guide, we're going to actually sew 1/4 inch down each side of the pencil line. Okay, so I've come to my sewing machine now, so I've dropped it down. So what I'm going to do is, pretending that that is the edge of the fabric, I'm using that as my 1/4 inch line. So now I'm going to sew down. Just slowly, using my foot as a guide, following the pencil line that I drew. Come to the end, lift your foot up, get your needle right out of the way, turn it around. This is a sort of like a form of chain piecing as well. This is how you chain piece, but we'll be talking about that later on in other videos. Okay, get it all down, get your cottons back out of the way, pop it down, and using that as a guide, we're going to go back down the other side. Nice and slow, there's no race. Always know, take your time, quitting's not about a race. Down we go the other side, making sure that the foot of your machine, of your foot, is on the pencil line. There we have it. So we have the pencil line and we have a seam 1/4 inch from it and another seam another 1/4 inch from it. Okay, so we've done that. Remove your pins. Now you're going to get your rotary cutter and you're going to line it up on that pencil line. So line up the pencil line from corner to corner, okay? Make sure you've got it nice and tucked in, corner to corner. Okay, line it up. And you're going to cut on that pencil line. Hold it still. Okay. Get your scissors, just remove your threads so get them out of your way. We're going to set the seams, okay? And now we're going to open it up. This time we're going to do dark to light, but as I said before, not necessarily is it always dark to light. It's about working out which way you have to go, because in the next video that I'll be doing for you about butting and pinning, I'll be teaching you how to do that as well. So again, as I talked to you before, just let the fabric fall down and press it over. Okay, so we have now taken our fabric, chopped it, ironed it, pressed it. And this is one here. This one here is a classic example of how much movement that I told you was in the fabric. Now we're going to cut these at 3.5. So there's 1, 2, 3.5. We're going to be using that orange line there as a guide. That's how we're going to do. Yeah, sure, we've got a little bit of wastage here, but I can tell you now that have a look how much movement there has been, because you saw me cut these blocks and you watched me cut them perfectly. And if you can see that that is not straight there and that is not straight across this bottom. So this is a classic example in how much deterioration and contraction there is in the fabric once heat is added. But look how much wiggle room we've got. We've got all this here to straighten this up and to get it back together. And I can tell you now that I do not mind wasting this much fabric to get the perfect block. So we're lining it up with the diagonal line here from corner to corner on the block. Remember, there's the 3.5 inch line there on that orange one that we're following there. So I'm going to line that line up straight across there with the center line of my half square triangle. Line that up there and keep it really straight on my first cut, right? Holding it down. And as you can see how warped it is and how much deterioration there is in it. So I'm going to line it up with my hand, cut it there. We're going to do this one cut at a time. So there's our first cut done. So now we're going to line it back up again and bring it back over. Remember, we're using the orange square just there. So bring it over here. So we line it up. So we've got that bottom bit there. So we need that orange line across the bottom there to have it straight. And we need that to be correct across that diagonal part there. So there's our next cut there. Only ever make one cut at a time. Do not turn it and do not spin it around. So now we need to go again. So we line it up again. So there's our 3.5 inch line there, our bottom part there, and we're coming across this way. Again, we need to make sure that we've got that correct across that bottom bit there. We go again. Okay, now this should be our last cut. Okay, so we line it up again. Lining it up across there, we're lining up across there, and we're lining up across this one this time. And we bring it down, we hold it across, hold it still. There we go. Just check that we've got that right. Okay, I just need to take maybe just a little fraction off that down there, straighten it up a bit. There we go. And there we have it. 1 3.5 inch square. Yeah, sure we've got some scrap. Yeah, sure we've got it there. But as I showed you before, how crooked was it? How much deterioration was there on the fabric? And this is one of the good ones. So you can imagine what would also happen to this fabric if it was heavily printed with dye and if it was heavily printed with, say, a floral or something like that. I can tell you now that the dyes and the florals on the patterns make it even more difficult to actually align and to get it done. Thank you very much for joining me today. I look forward to seeing you in my next video.